There's something called the forgetting curve that neuroscientists have discovered, and if you're a sales or marketing leader, it's impacting your prospects right now and possibly causing a really big problem for your sales team. I'm going to share with you what the forgetting curve is and how to fix it so that your sales team's more effective. As a sales and marketing professional, you're up against something really difficult, and that's the forgetting curve in the human brain. You see, there's been a study out there that said 80% of everything that somebody had experienced in a training or a meeting, they forget within 24 hours. And if you look at the forgetting curve, we're going to pop it up on the screen right now, you're going to see that over a short period of time, almost everything that the prospect or somebody that you're training has experienced is vanished from reality. They don't even have it in their active memory anymore. And that's because the brain, the way it stores information, is based on a use it or lose it principle. And a lot of times if you're in sales or marketing, you put a marketing ad up or you have a sales conversation and your prospect is consuming the information, but they might not even come back to that information again cognitively. They might not even think about it again for a week until that next sales call or until that next marketing message hits their inbox maybe a week or a month later. The problem with that is, with that use it or lose it principle, is if the brain has not used that new information from a salesperson within 24 hours, it's probably gone. And we've talked about this before, that it's really difficult for sales momentum to continue with the modern buyer. One of the reasons is you get a lot of content going to the modern buyer on a daily basis. They're consuming crazy amounts of email. We've talked about this before. But the other thing that we're up against that's quite literal is we're up against the human brain's forgetting curve. So what can you do as a salesperson to try and offset this? Well, it's proven that within 3 or 6 hours, the brain is already starting to forget. So ideally, you would do what normal salespeople do, and within 24 hours, you're going to send a follow-up message to that prospect. Now, there are 7 ways that you can send stimulating messages within windows of time to make sure that your prospect is actually remembering and recalling the information, and it's being stored in their long-term memory bank, and they actually can act on that information. I'm going to share with you 2 ways to make sure that you're engaging your prospect's brain throughout your sales process so that your prospect actually has a chance to retain that information and make a change in their life and in their business. The first way is you want material that you send to your prospect after a sales meeting. It needs to take at least 30 seconds of time for that prospect's brain to consume. That could be a case study, it could be a video. If it's less than 30 seconds, it's proven that the retention goes down quite a bit. If it's 30 seconds or more, it stimulates enough of the brain using something called the halo effect that they actually start to recall even more information from that meeting, and it offsets that forgetting curve. You can look actually at some of the studies and you can see that if there's an intervention where you send something after a sales meeting within 24 hours and somebody spends 30 seconds or more on it, they're recalling more of that sales meeting. And when they're recalling more of that sales meeting, they're recalling more emotion. They're recalling more of the positive benefits that they were seeing in the meeting. They're recalling more of that positive feeling they had with the salesperson about your company. The next principle that I'm going to share is the more emotional, the better. You see, the brain optimizes for emotion. So if there's something emotional, the brain's going to flag that as important. And within that follow-up process, if you send something that's emotional and engaging and it takes over 30 seconds to process, it's quite powerful. And the easy way to keep a cadence going so your prospect's brain does have a chance to actually remember the information that you're sharing with them is you'd want to send some sort of a video or message or case study that's quite compelling. It takes around 30 seconds to consume or more, and it's emotional at least every 4 business days. There are numerous studies that can share with you the exact cadence in which you can ideally send content and send these reminders. Some people call them boosters throughout a journey with somebody. But to keep it really simple, every 4 business days, and then after about 3 sequences of every 4 business days, you want to go to once every 3 weeks if it's a long cycle, and then keep it at that once every 3 week level. So that's the way that you can start eliminating the forgetting curve from your sales process. Now, there's no way that as a sales or marketing professional, you can make sure that your prospects retain 100% of the information because that's humanly impossible, but you can dramatically reduce the forgetting curve in your sales process by using these 2 techniques on a regular basis. Now, quite literally, what this is going to do to your sales cycle is it's going to shorten it. It's pretty obvious when you think about it that when you have to get your prospect to have to remember what they like about your product or service and remember the good energy and the good feelings they had about your product or service, it delays the amount of time it takes to actually close the sale. But if your prospect and their brain can remember rapidly what it is that they love about your product or service, it shortens the sales cycles dramatically. Here are 3 benefits your team is going to experience when they eliminate the forgetting curve from their sales process. Number 1 is they're going to be happier because they don't have to repeat themselves every week or every other day. Number 2 is they're going to make more money and they're going to have shorter sales cycles. They're going to be more excited. And number 3 is your buyers are going to be more relieved because they can get help faster. So eliminate the forgetting curve in your sales process. This is not just on the sales team. You have to have marketing involved, you have to have sales leadership involved, and the sales team involved to make sure that you're operating in a way that actually is compassionate to the brain of your modern buyers. If you'd like our help with helping your sales team make sure that they're eliminating the forgetting curve from their sales process, schedule a demo. We'd like to share with you exactly how ClientPoint can help.